it's Kristen. So I have a little bit different kind of a video for you guys today. I'm calling this brushes on repeat. And I've been thinking about this for probably a couple of months now, as I've noticed when I wash my brushes, and I wash my brushes every once a week, once every 10 days sort of a thing, which is probably more than the normal person, but that's what I do. And I just was noticing the same brushes coming, you know, out of the clean and into the used sort of section of my life. So I have a couple of different things like this. Like this is the one I have for my eye brushes, and I have another one kind of similar for my face brushes. But like I said, I really have noticed the same brushes. I put them into there, and then when I'm looking for a brush, I'm always searching for the ones that end up in here. So some of these are used, some of them are not. Like I said, I went through and pulled out the ones that I know that I reach for on a regular basis. And I thought I would just run them down quickly for you. I'm going to try not to take too long because there are a lot of brushes in here. And this is not to say I don't have brushes, you know, in here or in my other one that I love, because I absolutely do. But these are the ones that just seem to be currently on repeat. So, and I would do this again if you guys enjoy this. I would do this again if I notice that some of those brushes that I have on repeat are changing out. Some of these brushes are higher end, some of them are not. Some of them are in between. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to actually get started with the ones that aren't in here, that they're just kind of sitting before me. And you know, some of these brushes I've talked about a bajillion times before. So I get that. You get new subscribers every day, and I just want to share with everybody what my loves are. So even if I've mentioned it before, it might be new to somebody. So the first one I want to talk about that I have before me here is the Kabuki face brush. This I think sells for about $6, and it's just perfect. I don't use it for anything but blending everything out on my face at the end of the, you know, when I'm done with my face. I love that. I think it's I hesitate. I'm not going to say must-have because everybody's must-haves are different, so I try not to say that, but it's a great... Some sort of kabuki to help blend out your face is really important. So, all right. Let's talk about foundation. So the one that I keep reaching for are two things. Blending sponge sort of thing, and then this brush. So I'll touch on this quickly again a little bit later when there's another brush that I mentioned, because you can get this, I used this morning, by the way. This is with it wet. This is the Beauty Junkee blending sponge, and this is in particular the black one. And I mentioned this in my Chanel video, the foundation video, that I just love this. I think it's the best of both worlds. It's the same shape as the Real Techniques brush, or the Real Techniques sponge, but it has more of the give and bounce to it, like the Beauty Blender. I absolutely love this sponge. I've used this over and over and over again, and for me, it's washed up really well. I'm trying to think how long I've had this. 6 months-ish or so it's time to get a new one. And it's just starting to break down on me just a little bit. And I need new one. I actually want to get some to have kind of in my kit. So I think that these are sold separately now. They might not be, but with Beauty Junkees. But I will, whatever I can find, I will list below. I'll try to clearly notate it. And I did talk with Beauty Junkees because I knew I would have some brushes in here. This is nothing, it doesn't do anything for me. It only does something for you. I did check with her, and she's extended out the code that I have until the end of August. So you can get, I think it's 25% off either one brush or a set of brushes. Okay. Then the foundation brush I like as well, actually, is from Beauty Junkees, and it's the angled Kabuki. This is just the one that I'm currently using. I like the flat top one as well, but this one I just keep washing and putting right back in and washing and putting right back in. And I've kind of been using a combo of these for my foundation currently. I'll put it down with this and then blend it out with this, or just this. It just kind of depends. So there's that. All right. And I've talked about this brush forever, and I don't have the new version of it, but from what I understand, the new version of it is very similar, not exact, but very similar. This is the Sephora 55 brush. I use this for powder foundation, and this is always in rotation. For those of you that have been around it a little bit, you're like, yes, Kristen, we get it. But I've originally heard about this brush from Lisa D1, and it just works so well with powder foundation. There's just something about it that really blends into the skin. It really makes that powder that you're using become part of your skin. I don't like it for loose powder, like for setting powder, but for a powder foundation, it's absolutely perfect. So it just has the right density, the right fluffiness, the right everything. For bronzer, I'll do that before I move to blush. I've talked about this one a bunch, and just I don't know that I've talked about this recently or not. But so the Tom Ford bronzer brush, I really think it's worth every penny. Man, there's just something about this brush that just works perfectly, blends well, picks up product right. I know it's expensive, but if it's something you're interested in and you've been going back and forth, I think you should just jump in. Just go ahead and jump in. The other brush that I've been using, and this I'm going to show you. So I've been working through this bronzer forever and ever, amen. And this is the MAC from the Alluring Aquatics, an Aphrodite shell. It looks like this. So I'm down kind of to the ring. You can tell that this is the bottom. There's nothing there. And I was starting to worry that I was going to damage my Tom Ford brush. So I've still used the Tom Ford one here and there because I just can't put it down. But what I've done is pulled out the Beauty Junkie Pro Sculptor brush, which looks like this. And let me show you. And there is one other Beauty Junkie brush that I'm going to talk about. By the way, I am not affiliated with them in any way. They have sent me brushes before, and they give me a code that gives you guys 25% off, but that's it. I don't get anything else from that. So you can buy them on Amazon if you want to go straight to Amazon and search it, if you're whatever your little heart desires. But I do have a code for 25% off that, again, does something for you, does nothing for me. Okay. So this has worked so well to get into that. It's because this is kind of a creamy bronzer. It's not like a straight up, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that In Dimension thing. It's not like a straight up powder brush. There's some cream to it. And this just works perfectly to get in there and then blend it into my skin. So this is that's the other bronzer brush that's been on repeat. For blush, this one has been on repeat for years. I used to love the Bobbi Brown blush brush, but I don't even know the last time I used that one. Come to think of it, this is all I use. I wash and put it back in. I wash and put it back in. And this, I think, is only available now on the IT Cosmetics site. I don't even think you can get it. Sometimes you could get it on QVC with a blush. You know, you could order a blush and you get this brush. I don't even think it's there. I don't know why. But it's called the French Boutique Blush Brush. It just has the perfect sort of density to it. I will tell you the one that is close to this, but not exact. I mean, it's just it looks similar, but it's not exact. It is close. Is the IT Cosmetics for Ulta, and it's Live Beautifully, the number 227 Flawless Blush. So it's similar, but it's not exactly the same, but it is similar. I just continue to reach for this one. I'm pretty sure I've decided, I've talked so long already, that this might be a two-parter. This might be face brushes, and then I'll follow up with an eye brush one. So, all right. Underneath my eye, for setting underneath my eyes, I've gone through a bunch of different brushes over the past couple of years, but this is the one for some reason I continue to go back to. I think it's because it's so soft, it's so fluffy, it picks up just the right amount of product, and this you can't get here in the States, but it's the Quo Professional Blush Brush, actually, but you can look for something similar to this. I don't know what's available in the States that has this sort of fluffiness to it. The Chanel blush brush is similar, but not, I don't know. Do you need to have one specifically for underneath your eyes? Absolutely not. I just do, so I'm sharing. So this, as I said, is the Quo brush, and you can just see it has just some really nice fluffiness to it. And I just feel like it works really well for setting underneath my eyes. And the product that I've been working through, that I've been using it with, in case you're curious, is the e.l.f. Complexion Perfection. And it picks up, you can look at that. I'm getting there. It just seems to pick up the right amount of product. So it picks up like about that amount of product, and then I don't even think I set my eyes today, so, and then it's just so soft. It's delightful. And like I said, I think the key for me with that one is that it doesn't pick up too much product. Some of the ones, like I used to use the Real Technique setting brush, but I felt like that picked up a little bit too much powder for me and for my under eyes, so that's why I switched away from it. Okay, so this is an all-purpose sort of brush. I use this for powder. I use this if I'm using that By Terry palette that I talked about, that I did the all face with, you know, my eyes and my cheeks, the Sun Divine palette. I use this with that. I use this with lots of things. So this is the Wayne Goss. It was called the Holiday brush, and now I think it's the 00 brush or something. I have it in black. It also comes in white. But I just love this for an all-purpose brush. If I really am packing super light for a quick weekend or something like that, I will just take this and use this for everything. So blush, powder, bronzer, all of it. It works. I just love this. Of all of my Goss brushes, I use this one the most, I would say. Another multi-purpose brush that gets used, washed, and put right back in there is the Wayne Goss 02 brush. I got this one, I think I got this when I bought his anniversary kit, if I remember right. And it works, well, obviously for contour, underneath your eyes, up on your hairline, whatever, you know. It's just, again, it's a multi-purpose brush. It works really, really well for a multitude of things. And lastly, this is the highlight brush that I've talked about a bunch before, the brush I use for highlight, that I've talked about a bunch before, and it's absolutely so soft. I washed this so many times. This is the Eco Tools Deluxe Fan Brush. It doesn't say that on there anymore. Well, I kind of think it kind of shows it on, it's worn off. But I love this brush for a couple things. One, for highlight. Two, it also works really well if you're just trying to kind of fade in a little contour there. So this brush is, it's like $4 or $5 and it's such a great brush. I think you could also, I've used this in the past with the Hourglass powder, like dim light kind of all over my face. Really, really nice. You know, my favorite brush for that sort of thing is the Goss, this one, I don't even know what number it is. This was the holiday brush last year. But honestly, while I love that brush, you can do all of those same things with this brush. Right, I do think that I'm going to split this up and do a part 1 and a part 2. I didn't intend to do that, but I feel like if I start talking about all of these, this video is going to be like an hour long. So, on my face today, I have the same base as I have been wearing. I have the Marc Jacobs blush in the Air Blush in Lush and Libido. Really with the names. And on my eyes today, I pulled out my Too Faced Natural at Night. I did use this Pixie liner that I'm trying to use up. I think it's Sage Gold. It's this olivey green one as a base, but oof, it's so dry. I'm really struggling to use that up. But anyway, and then I used this lineup right here pretty much. I have that underneath my brow bone, this on the lid, this to deepen things up, and then I used Nightcap right here in the crease. And I took that lower one, which is called Night Fever, beneath my lower lash line. I don't know what happened to the olive smoky eye, just broke out. And then on my lips today, I had the Tarteist Lip Paint in FOMO, F-O-M-O. I looked that up, but I can't remember what it means now. I'll list it here. It means something. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found this information helpful, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye!